started because it feels like there's just a lot that wants to come through. So I'm going to keep fussing here. So bear with me. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. I know we've got people from all over who are joining, and I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Meditation Conversation. I'm Kara Goodwin, and we are here today with Lori Williams and Sarah Evans from the Into the Blue podcast. And I'm so excited about this. I will read the bios in a minute in case you aren't familiar with them, but I think a lot of people who are on here know Lori and Sarah, and several of you have worked with them. But
yeah, I see a lot of familiar names.
yes. And I know people got so much out of our last live stream. So we met back in September, and that just was really expansive and really powerful. I remember we finished that and I went for a walk afterwards, and I'm like, are my feet even touching the ground? Like I just felt it's like I felt high. I was just like floating. And it just took me a while to kind of come back down. But
it wasn't just you.
yes, I know. I was getting phone calls from, I know that we were kind of connecting afterwards as well, but I was getting phone calls from people, and it was really, really powerful. But let me take a moment just to introduce you both. So Lori Williams is a Reiki master, 5D Ascension guide, channeler, and author. With a love for the metaphysical and quantum world, she brings her insights and intuition to her clients through various healings, readings, teaching sessions, and channeling modalities. She's published 2 poetry books through her publishing house, Planet Castleberry Press. Her latest ventures have taken her into the world of music, and she's recently released 5 songs. Lori is incredibly prolific, and just like the creativity just flows. It's like, here's what I'm doing now. I know that I didn't even mention there's children's book stuff she's working on.
I forgot about that. Yep. Have a
all
kid's
kinds
book.
of stuff.
Yes.
And then Sarah Evans lives on the edge of the Peak District National Park in Northern England and is a yoga and meditation teacher, a Reiki practitioner, as well as an Akashic Records reader, medium, and channeler. Fueled by a passion to help others through their own healing journeys, Sarah regularly offers yoga and Reiki sessions online via Learn It Live, as well as subscription offerings on Subkit. Having successfully recovered from 2 years of long COVID and chronic illness, Sarah hosts the Long COVID Hope podcast and has also been a featured guest on prominent health and wellness podcasts. So welcome, Sarah and Lori. So excited to connect with you again today.
Aw,
Yes, we're
thanks,
so excited to
Sarah.
be here. Thanks for having us again.
So we will, for those of you who are joining us on the Zoom, first of all, if you're joining us on YouTube where we're live streaming, if you want to hop over onto the Zoom so that you can connect, and because I'm not actually monitoring the YouTube. So if you want to ask your own questions or just kind of be here in the energy with us, there is a registration link in the show notes, in the notes that you'll see, and you can register real quick. You'll get the link to the Zoom and you can hop on with us. And of course, if you just want to observe, then just stay there on YouTube. This has been really interesting how this has all come together for us. And I was about to say, sorry, that you will have your own chance to ask questions. So just hang in there, but we're going to do a little intro session first. But last week, this was just last week, which feels like longer ago than that. But Lori and I were connecting, and she was just sharing about these incredible clients who have come through since the last live stream, who have found them. And somebody, you're going to have to correct me if I get this wrong, ladies, but it was like somebody wanted to meet with both of them at the same time and wanted to have an Akashic Records session, and Sarah does the Akashic readings and Lori doesn't, but they're always able to kind of sync up in their readings. So it was like, can we do this? Let's see. So there've been all these kind of playful, let's try it and see how things go. And then it's like, whoa, all this stuff comes through. that they didn't really realize they had access to. So that's been super fun. But then because she was sharing that, I was like, you guys have just changed so much. There's been so much evolution since our last live stream. And I know because I hear from everybody how powerful the last one was. And I was like, we should do it again. You guys should come back on. And then it was like, what if you do a reading? Like, what if we get into your Akashic records and we see how that goes? And then I've got the experience to be able to say, oh my gosh, I had this experience, and then I can share a little bit about that too. So I had a session yesterday and they both went into my records and it was incredible. It was so fascinating. It was so spot on in so many ways of that we were kind of talking before everybody else hopped on, where it was like there were so many specific things that they just said like a few words, and it was like all this information, all this verification, all these synchronicities from the few things that they were saying that just gave me so much verification on things going on in my own life, in my own like quantum journeys. And so it was really wild, really powerful. So that's kind of my perspective on how we got here to where we are today, because it's happened so quickly as well that it was like, let's do it. Let's meet next week. Let's do it next week. And it was like, how are the three of us with our schedules? How did we have time for that? And for it to come together like that, we've got 6 time zones that we span. So that is a little bit about the magic of how some of this has come together. But I gave a little bit away in terms of how you two have kind of evolved in your working together with people. But let's talk about what that has been like with the two of you in the Akashic Records.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, obviously, as listeners will know from the last session, we explained that we opened up our joint records, and then we're able to start channeling the Pleiadians via our joint records. So we've always been channeling via the Akashic Records. And then, yes, exactly. Last week, we had 2 clients come in wanting Akashic readings, and we decided to try and do it jointly. And when I opened the Akashic records of the individual client, Laurie could start seeing and experiencing about the same as me, and it is incredible because we obviously have slightly different layers and different things going on and different strengths, and it was just such like a impactful experience. And we were just like, well, okay, it clearly it works, and it works amazingly well.
Well, and we figured, we were talking about, we're like, if we're in the, you're in the quantum space, right? And that's where we operate, best, and what we're doing when you're tapping into information, whether it's from ETs or from, somebody's personal records, our joint records. So we were kind of sifting through it, and it's like, well, it would just make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it would make sense that we'd be able to do this. But like she said, our gifts are so interesting of how they balance off of each other, where she'll get those visuals, but then for me to be able to see somebody else's record, that was kind of the test, like, can I see their library as Sarah's seeing it? And there it was right in front of our face, and I'm describing it, so we kind of use that as a balancer of each other to, see, how is this working? Am I seeing you? Are you seeing? That's what's great about co-channeling, because, she's seeing something. I can bring through the interpretation a lot of times while she's getting this visual. I'm getting more of, it's almost like someone talks to me like they're just reading a book, and I'm just getting the info. And so it's just this beautiful symbiotic like thing that occurs between us. And it's funny. I mean, it just kind of makes us laugh a little bit, because we're like, of course we'd be able to do this. Why wouldn't we? Like, we've had, I don't know how many lifetimes together, and we just have this instant connection. And I've quit trying to figure it out, and I just go with it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to think about it too, because with meditation, for example, I imagine when you're working in the Akashic Records, at least with the experience of especially seeing Sarah, because Sarah, I think you're clairvoyant, right? So you kind of see more. So I found it I found it kind of cute because it was like, okay, so who's here? Let me just look. And so she's like looking around with her eyes closed, but she's sorry, I went out of focus here. Hang on one second. Come into focus. Hello.
Yeah,
It's
I
just,
literally
Bring
see
it in.
like the when
I
I'm
know, I'm
speaking
like,
with people, when people when the spirit comes in, like I experience them like around me, literally, and yeah.
And it's, yeah, hers happens. Sarah's more a medium, I would say. Like, I'm clairvoyant, but mine is like I'm going to be knowing and feeling first. She seems to be more hearing and seeing, first. It's so you're having basically all systems fire at one time when you're getting a session with both of us. But just like yesterday with yours, boom, that lion was front and center. And so I knew when I see something like that, I'm like, that's significant, because if it's coming in hot and fast to me first on a visual, so then that's when you'll hear me be like, Sarah, do you got the lion? So it's just
right.
interesting.
Well,
I
and
would
with,
caveat as well that everyone's individual Akashic records have a different kind of frequency, different thing going on. And I find sometimes if I'm reading for someone who has a clear and particular direction, then their records, their library will be more like that. Like I've
Yes.
experienced, like I am clairaudient as well, but I've experienced one's records and libraries where they aren't speaking at all and it's
Mhm.
all much more feeling and sensation and things like that, so it does vary.
that's so fascinating. Well, I
Yeah.
feel like too, because with meditation, for example, there so much is like where you're putting your focus. There's
Mhm.
just so much happening at any given time, even in our waking life. It's just whatever we're focusing on, that's what gets our attention. That's what we strengthen with our perception. And so that's what's beautiful about you guys working in tandem, is that it's like, okay, here's what I'm picking up on. And then, one of you will say, now, wait a second. Okay. Why do I see this? What can
Mhm.
you pick up on this? And it's kind of like, okay, let me see if I can tune into that too, because there's just so much there's so much information available
Yeah.
that it's kind of like, and I mean, Sarah, you were saying yesterday, like, it was kind of like, okay, let me just get oriented. This is a lot, there's just a lot of information here coming in. And so it is kind of like, in my interpretation, I guess, is kind of like, okay, where am I going to put my focus? What's the
Mhm.
information that wants to come through here? And then because you guys are working together, it's like, okay, I'm seeing, let's figure out, let's zero in on this lion. Are you seeing a lion? Let's figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah.
And that happened a few times where it was kind of like, okay, this is, why are we seeing this? And maybe like it wasn't apparent to one of you at the beginning, but because it was like,
Mhm.
let's bring our focus to it. That's just really fascinating.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually brought that up, because as a reader, anybody who, is channeler reader, which we all are intuitive, we all are able to do this. This isn't something unique to Sarah and I. Anybody can channel, anybody can tap in to your own Akashic, to whatever. I fully believe that. But when you're doing a reading, there's a lot coming in, and there's a lot you're having to do in that moment of deciphering and interpreting, and again, understanding what is in their best and highest good to bring forward. Just because we may be seeing and getting something, that's what's also really beautiful about our relationship and connection, is because it's like we innately know, like, we don't need to go down that path, like we don't need to go here, or we just kind of know how to get the redirection of what's best for the client, because our guides are leading us in that as well as their guides. So there's a lot that goes on in a session, and there's a lot that we are deciphering. I know a lot of people think psychics, well, you should just be able to, like, bring it, give me the answer, or whatever. And it's like, but when you're getting pictures and images and beings, and then you're hearing it, that's why you'll see us kind of stop in that moment and be like, okay, give me just a minute. I need to assimilate this. And we're using our own coding system of what our guides have, work with us and how they show us things. So, it's a lot, and we love when our clients give us that feedback. You get a lot more out of it as the client, rather than just kind of staying silent and letting stuff come through. It is very helpful whenever you can give us a little confirmation, so we know we're on the right track, and where your guides and our guides want us to take you and whatnot. So it's a whole joint collaborative thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I would add, like, I mean, as an Akashic Records reader, of course I would say this, but I do believe that the Akasha is a particularly powerful tool, and
Yeah.
opening your own Akashic Records, because it's literally, the library of your soul's journey across all lifetimes and all that is, right? And it is so powerful, and to be able to deliver exactly what you need to know at that time. Like, some people come to me and they say, I've got no questions. Let's just say, and I'm just like, sure, like they will let you know
Yeah.
what you need to know at this time. And I'm sure, Cara, you can attest that the certain things came in and it made total sense to you when it works, synchronicities with the now and everything like that. So
100%, because there was so much information that I never would have asked about, like it, because I wouldn't have even known to ask about it. Like, how would I even formulate the question because mine was very quantum and very like there was for example, sacred geometry was something that came through, which is very, very near and dear to me in this lifetime. And so, but I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily even thought to bring that up in my reading as a question. I didn't really have necessarily a question about it, but then there was all this information that came through about it that just exponentially increased my understanding of why I'm so drawn to sacred geometry. And again, that's just as an example, but so many synchronicities. I mean, I was pinging these ladies like for the rest of the day, basically. And even this morning of like, oh yeah, and then this, and I want to verify with you about this, because so, like I said, like they would just say a few words and it was like a kernel that popped, and it was like, oh my God, there's so much in that little kernel of what you just said that relates to my past, my distant past, my, this week past, and my future, and all of these things where it's like, I don't even know how to explain
Yeah.
how like
It's a big
relevant that
download.
is.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
download. It's fun because I know Sarah probably feels the same way. I learn a lot during the sessions too. That's what's kind of great about being a conscious channeler, because some of you'll like what you heard me, I get real inquisitive, so I'll be like, so who was she to him, or how is she connected to this? And so I'm wanting to know, Sarah's like, I'm seeing a map. I'm like, well, I'm getting Capernaum. So how is this connected? And then how is Sarah, or how is Kara connected to this being? I want to know those questions. So I'm kind of interpreting for the client too at that moment, because I trust that I'm hearing kind of what you're wanting to know without even knowing how to ask it. And so I kind of try to help kind of catapult that while Sarah is getting, the vision and talking to the being or whatever. So it's very fascinating because it is such a huge download, that the client gets, that we get. And that's a great transmission of frequency that, it'll keep permeating in even after your session. That's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. Now, Sarah, you were talking about how the Akashic Records is such a powerful tool and anybody can learn it. Now, from your experience, is there a difference between when you open and look at your own records versus clients? Because I know sometimes it's hard for us to kind of read for ourselves. But is there any difference, or have you found it to be just as easy to get into your own Akashic Records and get the information as for others?
that's a good question. I think for me personally, yes, it's been just as easy in my own records. There has been like a process, I think, because when I first started to open my own Akashic Records, I found it very intense. Like I just had a lot happening. And not everybody experiences that. Everyone has different experiences. But I mean, I do know that one of my alternative lifetimes is actually an Akashic Records keeper. So it makes a lot of sense that my soul is very intertwined with the Akasha. It just is. And yeah, I mean, I think I've certainly had some readings be more challenging. I think, like I said, like if they are not saying anything or particularly showing me things, then they can take a little bit more unpicking to kind of work it out. But everyone is different. But I've never had an experience where just nothing happens. Obviously, I can only go in to the Akashic Records as someone that's present and gives their own permission. So it's not like I can just kind of open anybody's anytime or something like that. There is definitely like checks and balances in place around this work. Yeah, it's an interesting question.
That's beautiful. Well, I do want to invite anybody who would like to ask a question. There's a react button at the bottom. At least I don't know if it's different if you're on an iPhone or an iPad or whatnot, but you can click. There's a little, for me, there's a heart and it says react, and you click that, and then there's a raise hand. So you can ask questions that way, or if you want to, you can type your questions into the chat, and we'll see if we can get answers. We may need you to come on to clarify. But Judith wanted to know more about your past life connection. So how were you two connected in previous lives?
Well, do you want the short answer or the really, really long one?
I was gonna say, you want the long or the short?
Laura, do you want to take this?
Oh gosh, it just makes me laugh because my quick answer wants to be like, how are we not connected? You know what I mean? It's just Sarah and I, it's such a beautiful friendship and a business partnership, which we can speak to that part too. We were laughing about that before we got on camera. But obviously the Pleiadian connection is huge. You know what I mean? Like, we channel the Pleiadians, we look like Pleiadians, we feel like I mean, there's a whole vibe there. And so we have tapped into, these other lifetimes and aspects of that. But, at this point, the way I see it is the whole fractals of consciousness thing, like what you're talking about, Sarah or Kara, we literally, I'm have no doubt that we've been probably everything in every lifetime. You know what I mean? A Andromedan, a Arcturian, a Lyran, a this, because when we tap into stuff, there's so much crossover that we're able to do. And that's when we opened up our joint records and was like, are we contracted to do this? And it was like, yes, like this has been planned. You guys knew you were going to do this. Like it's just now time. So, I don't know, Sarah, like we haven't tapped. I mean, if we sat and tried to tap into all of them, it would be ridiculous, but
I mean, this is it. Like, I try to avoid like spending too much time in the Akasha
yeah,
because you can basically like check out of the physical life experience and just kind of, spend all your time in this, massive, vast, infinite universe, basically. And yeah, because we've had so many lifetimes, there's so many joint lifetimes. I mean, there's definitely some that are meaningful to me, like when we were priestesses together. Is a biggie that I think of. But yeah, there's just been so many lifetimes. Our souls are greatly intertwined. I'm sure of it.
Just the fact that we recognized each other on camera in a remote book club just makes me laugh. I mean, we've all had that. I believe everybody on this call has had that moment of that soul recognition, but we were laughing beforehand because both of our personalities to come together and do a co-channeling duo partnership. Again, this just started April, Sarah? Is that when we started?
April. Yeah, that's when we started. I mean, we met a year ago.
Just
about a year ago. Yeah. It's been very fast.
Hysterical, but we laugh because we are both we have a similar, I call it the 3D job background of marketing and some different things like that we're in, but how we operate like in our separate life apart from this, we aren't really people that like to like partner or do co-business work type stuff together. We're both very like, I'll get it done, I'm gonna get it done. Like we've never really been people who like to hand off and trust someone to kind of get some business things type, done or whatever. This has been so fascinating running a business together because again, we just fell into it and it's like, okay, you take this, I'll take this. Okay, set this up. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And we laughed about it because she was like, I'm not someone who likes to do this kind of stuff. And I was like, me either. I don't trust people easily.
We are not team players, like by default.
And yes,
But it's been such a synergy. It's just been seamless, hasn't it? It's just
Mhm.
flowed. And obviously, as we know, when you're following that path of heart, it just flows, and
Yeah.
it just has done for us.
That's
Yeah.
so
I'm super
beautiful.
grateful for it. It's been such a blessing to me. So yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
I love it. And we do, you guys, I wanted to mention, you did open your Akashic Records. So the way that you kind of alluded to this already, but the way that this will work today, unlike my session that I had yesterday, they opened my records. Today, they're not going to be able to do that for everybody, just from a practicality perspective, but they've opened their records. And
Mhm.
so they can answer questions, not too deep into your personal world, but they can, tap into their Akashic records to then get the answers for you guys, which is how they channel the Pleiadians in
Mhm.
their podcast Into the Blue channeling. They're using their records, and then the Pleiadians access them through their Akashic records, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Did I explain that well
Yeah, you did. It
and
feels
accurately?
complicated a little bit, but yeah, we're basically, I mean, when we start channeling in and answering questions and stuff, the Pleiadians are going to be here, our guides are going to be here with our joint Akashic of all these lifetime stuff. So we're going to be tapping into the quantum through our own Akashic. But yeah, if it's a super personal question, you may want to book a private session for us to go deeper
Mhm.
into your own Akashic, which Sarah, we forgot to mention, we are offering the coupon code of Kara 20 again, so you can get 20% off of a 60-minute session. So
You just picked up on my thought, because I
I
was
know.
like, I wonder if they're doing that, but I
I
don't want
felt
to like
you.
back you into a corner and be
Yes.
like, are you guys doing yeah, sure, we're gonna offer that promo again.
I
Thanks,
think I
Sarah.
kind of read your mind because I felt it. I was literally like, she's wondering, and I forgot to mention it.
Yes,
And
that's
we have a new bookings calendar as well.
Mhm.
And we've
oh,
opened up a lot more slots because obviously, with the demand hitters following the last
Mhm.
conversation with you.
Yeah.
So we're ready and able to take
Mhm.
any reading bookings now.
and will they go, tell me what is the place where they would go to do that?
Yeah, just go to the website intothebluechanneling.com, and then you can click the link from there, and then you'll go to the payment screen, and then the booking link is there. So if you want to look at the booking options before you purchase, that's fine. If for some reason you're in a time zone or something, or that you're not seeing anything that would, work with your schedule, go ahead and reach out to us direct, and we'll try, to see if we can accommodate, because we've tried to kind of stagger it enough to where hopefully something works for your location and whatnot. But always reach out to us. We're happy to look at, or if there's like something super urgent that's coming up and you need to get in like right now. I've been kind of getting that message to somebody I don't know, like that's just coming in right now, Sarah, out of the blue, that
Into the Blue. I put
but
the website there. Did I get that right? Into the Blue channeling.
.com,
Just
yes.
one L,
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes.
And then what was the promo code?
Kara 20.
Okay.
And I think if you're going to do the 30-minute session, you need to do Kara 20 exclamation point.
Okay.
I think that one's still active, but really it's for the 60-minute sessions is what we are kind of driving for on the Kara 20.
Okay. I put those into the chat. So
Perfect.
we had Alessandra ask if the Pleiadians would drop in any messages for me that will serve the highest clarity in my current reality experiences.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's connect to the Pleiadian group of 9. I was experiencing, but right before you asked the question, I was experiencing suddenly like an adrenaline boost, like I could feel
I
like the
did too.
energy coming off of that.
Right here in
But let's
the
see.
center. Mhm. Oh, okay. They came right in, Sarah. I know it takes us a minute sometimes, but I felt it was kind of that same whoosh with Kara. I'm here.
I
I just
feel like
heard,
a lot of like butterflies and
yes.
like excitement, like positivity.
Yes. I heard it's a great time of awareness and awakening for you, my child, which is weird. I don't normally hear them talk like that. Let's see what else.
I'm literally seeing butterflies as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Butterflies and dragonflies. I don't know if this is relevant for you, but that's what they're showing me.
I'm getting, yeah, like almost like a lot of Fey realm stuff, which is kind of interesting. Like fairy realm type stuff that is being brought through.
And they're saying they want to remind you that like the anticipation anxiety, the kind of like nervousness and excitement are basically the same thing. And it depends on you to interpret it and direct the energy like towards the positive side. So rather than be concerned,
Yeah.
just flow with the excitement side of it.
I'm seeing that butterfly too, like kind of almost like being presented to her. And I'm seeing, we know butterflies are a sign of transformation, dragonflies as well. And so that feels like that's kind of the overarching message is this is a pivotal, transformative time for you as you're unlocking new gifts and talents that you already are aware of, but they're going to a new level for you. And I just keep seeing like a butterfly being presented to you. It's purple. It's the one I'm seeing.
It almost looks like a brooch. Like look out for
Yeah.
the brooch that's coming your way.
It's very like ornate. Ornate. I guess that's the right word.
Yes.
That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to spotlight Holly. Oh, I don't think I can spotlight you. Holly, would you be willing to come on camera so I can add you in here? Awesome.
There she is.
Hi, Holly. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
Go ahead and
thank
ask
you.
your question.
I was going to say thank you for hosting this, Kara. I love Sarah and Lori. So anytime I get an opportunity to talk with both of them, yes.
Oh, awesome.
We love
it.
Okay, so my question would be, do they have any guidance or specifically maybe even a name for a business that I am trying to get off the ground?
Sarah, I'm going to let you take a little more lead on this one because I know Holly personally, we talk about this often. And so I want to stay more neutral.
They're actually showing me like a cube, maybe like a logo, which looks to me like a cube, or it might be, oh, I've forgotten the name of the amplifier symbol.
Yes.
It looks a bit like that to me.
The Shoko
But,
Ray.
but that's what I'm seeing. 1 second.
Yeah, feels very
So
geometric.
they're telling me that you've already found the name, you just haven't realized it yet. Like it's something that's already come to mind, but you're not kind of connecting the dots that that's your business name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what I'm seeing. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
But it's definitely connecting to the amplifier symbol.
Holly, I'm kind
Definitely.
of seeing your name, what we've talked about with your name and your middle name going across the amplifier signal, the Shoko Ray. And it looks like
Oh.
it's like in front of it, kind of standing out. Is that what you're seeing, Sarah, as far as the
Yeah, that makes sense because it's almost like initials,
Yep.
like on different sides of this cube,
Yep.
like shape. Yeah, that's it.
That's what I was saying too. Okay, awesome.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's fun.
Okay. That's super cool. Thank you, Holly. Thanks for being here. Okay, we have Judith who asked, can you help with the headaches so many people are getting right now? Trying to help my daughter who doesn't have any spiritual outlets. She thinks I'm a bit woo-woo.
Welcome to the club.
You're in good company.
You're in good company. That's a great question.
This is definitely something that I've been getting a lot of lately
Same.
too. Yes.
The headaches or the
Head
woo-woo?
pressure.
The headaches.
Mhm.
Yeah, head pressure.
I will say I had a session with the harmonic egg, I had an episode that came out last week about the harmonic egg, which is a fascinating new technology. But and I've been having stomach issues and just like a little bit, but it cleared that up during the session. But when I came out, my like right temple was hurting and it hadn't been hurting. And so it was clearly like an energy thing. And I could tell like that my stomach thing was energetic too. Like when I actually, I just kept for days, I'd feel like just this like tenderness in my stomach. And then I tuned into it properly yesterday and I was like, oh my God, it's all this energy just like concentrated in my stomach. And I could feel it like at my solar plexus. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, this is like massive energy coming in, but it feels like it's squeezing in my my physical stomach. So anyway, for what that's worth, I like the egg seemed to kind of aggravate it, but not in the headache, but not in a bad way.
I pulled this
Oh,
card, the golden egg.
oh my God.
And I knew as soon as you started
That's so
talking, they're
funny.
literally like, pick up the card, Lori.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
I
Well,
can't.
Yes.
I digressed. So let me read Judy's question again so that you can
It's
tune
okay.
back
I
in.
got the question
Yeah,
Okay,
about
you
with
got
it.
it.
her,
All right.
her daughter's headaches, and
Yeah.
so they initially were showing me water,
Yeah.
and they're saying, ensure you're hydrated. This is kind of like
Mhm.
headache 101. Ensure that she's hydrated. And you need to be more hydrated than you realize. Like at the moment, because there's less oxygen in the air, we do need to drink more water to oxygenate our cells sufficiently. But they're also showing me so the element of water can be used also for grounding, and so showing me like salt baths can be really lovely and grounding and can help relieve that energy.
Yeah, there's a lot
It,
going on too with the third eye that's causing a lot of this. Like
yes,
even though she's not quote unquote woo woo, it doesn't mean any the third eye
yet.
is still being yet still being activated and is open. I have to say opening and closing because our chakras are never like fully open or closed. I don't believe, but it's being more activated and fine tuned where she's working with it and using her third eye. So I keep seeing like you need to
Yes.
release that pressure out the crown. So you can, even with the visualization of pushing that energy up and out, get it up out of the body so it's not congregating.
They're saying that this is a particularly tough time on Earth for energy sensitives. And whether she realizes it or not, she is very energy sensitive. Yes. And they're saying, yeah, like Laurie has shared, so like it's the third eye is activating and a lot's happening with
Yeah.
it. And they're saying pay attention to the dreams and daydreaming as well, because that might be of interest.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm hearing kind of like what Sarah was saying initially, like sometimes when people aren't receptive to talking about just visualize or push energy out, talking about the things as Sarah mentioned, with water and connecting it to that physical element and understanding kind of a scientific explanation of like it grounds you, it helps run energy through. It's a conduit. Water is a conduit. So that will kind of appeal more to her logical mind so that you can kind of get around that a little bit better.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
Alessandra had some feedback. She just said that's extremely helpful with 3 exclamation marks. So well done. Resonates very much. Butterflies, birds, and dragonflies have been hanging all around me for months. Much appreciation.
Aw.
And Michelle, hello, Michelle. She says, I'm booking the 1-hour session right now, but do your guides see the issue of tinnitus as reversible in my case?
I love this question because it comes up a lot for people. It's a frequency. It's a frequency that you're hearing. I don't actually, I'm not perceiving that this is a physical problem. It's presenting as physical, but it is definitely frequency connected. And you're actually picking, kind of hearing like this is showing you that you are hearing beyond the veil. So these are beings, these are loved ones. These are people and beings, I guess is the best way, because I'm seeing like animals and spirit beings also trying to connect with you. So somehow you're connected to music, and you're connected to frequencies and sounds. And this is a predominant way in which the guides are trying to work and get your attention.
So Lori, you didn't know this is Michelle Qureshi. So
Oh,
yes, so
hi.
she is a musician. She does she works with frequencies all the time. She's got like millions and millions of downloads and followers on Spotify
Of
and
course. That makes more
music
sense.
and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's just really funny. You don't even know who this
Yes.
is, like, because I only said Michelle, but yes, she is very much a musician, very connected to
Yes,
frequencies. So
yes,
you're
yes.
spot on.
So
There
spot
she
on
is.
with that. Yeah. I'm also
Very
receiving
full
that it
energy.
is painful. Like it's
Mhm.
hard because, you know, it does seem physical, right? And I
Yeah.
can actually experience the pain in both ears, and
Yeah,
that
I'm getting a
is, you
fullness.
know,
Mm.
you know, it's horrible. It's almost like slightly torturous, right?
Mhm.
It's we don't want to minimize or say that
Mhm.
it's not something that's very devastating.
Yeah.
But it is something, yeah, I mean, I'm also receiving that it's something that can be worked through and that you will work through it in time. Um,
Let's ask
and
if
then
there's anything she can do to mitigate that pressure feeling. Because gosh, if that's what you're experiencing, Michelle, I'm getting a lot of fullness and pressure in my ear, like almost I'm in a
yes,
chamber.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you do any type of rinses? Because I'm seeing like nasal rinses to kind of, because it feels like is like, it's giving you a sensation like there's a fluid buildup of sorts
Mhm.
kind of going on. And it's almost like by kind of flushing that out of your nasal cavities, that might kind of relieve some of this pressure feeling, just to kind of a palatable type of thing to kind of help ease that.
I'm
I
also
wish I was
seeing like
better.
doing a form of Reiki where you're putting hands over the
Mm.
ears and like literally trying to cleanse that energy
Yeah, like
outwards.
cupping.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So they're showing me that as well. Okay, I hope that's helpful.
That is helpful, yeah. And instinctively, I do this kind of often.
Right.
But as far as the rinse, that like with the neti pot, Lori,
Yeah.
it like comes out my eyes. It's just my bone structure. I put
Yeah.
it in, and it's like I
Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
it.
Have you
But
tried the
yeah.
squeezy bottle one? Because I'm seeing the squeezy bottle one, not the pot.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll look into that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I actually
Yeah.
have used that in the past. I'm very familiar with head pressure and sinus issues and allergies as I live in
Oh,
the Midwest.
right. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
the squeezy thing, they're showing me my squeezy thing. So that's the technical term, the squeezy thing. I'll send you a picture or a link or whatnot of it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And as I mentioned, I'm on my phone. I just tried to book, but it didn't really. I don't think it went through. But
Okay.
I will be going for the Akashic Records with the two of you. I can't wait. So
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Can't
You can
wait.
reach out to me direct,
I'll let
Michelle,
this
if you.
continue. Okay, excellent. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks
Love
for being
that.
here, Michelle.
My
Um,
pleasure. Thanks.
Okay, I'm not sure who this is, but they're asking, I'm wondering if they could help clarify my particular gifts that would help me focus on future goals, maybe gifts that have been with me through lifetimes that aren't super evident now. Sometimes it's easy to lose sight in my everyday life. I'm not able to be on camera. Do you need the name? Should I ask for a name?
It's helpful, but not necessary. I was already seeing something.
I'm already seeing something
Yeah.
myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're showing me writing,
Yep.
like
And
writing
painting.
down. Yeah, it's like the manual
Yep.
arts, like expressing yourself, communicating, but on the page is what I'm
Yes.
seeing. In terms of like psychic spiritual gifts, that could be like a form of channeling, whether you're painting something that you're just allowing yourself to the energy to channel through you.
Mhm.
It also could be written, to just allow, say just,
Mhm.
but to sit there and just kind of just feel very calm and just see if your hand was to start writing something. But I definitely see like a very manual,
Yes, it is.
dexterity related skill for you.
Yeah, I saw painting as well. Like I saw like a canvas. As soon as right after the question was read, I saw a canvas painting. I was hearing the same thing. Artistic. It's a manual channeling of sorts. I don't know if this person is connected to the Arcturians at all, but I heard check. That's when Sarah said the your spiritual gifts or your what I don't know what word you said there, Sarah, but basically like the
Like
kind of
spiritual.
yeah, spiritual energetic gift or whatever. I was definitely getting a lot of that channeling aspect, but call in the Arcturians, and it kind of sounds like they're wanting to work with you through these two aspects of specifically the writing or the painting, whatever this artistic endeavor is that you are more inclined to. They want to
Yes.
work with you through this modality.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I when you said Arcturian, it's like I felt like
Yeah,
like
it
a full
went
body
brrr.
chill. It's
Yeah.
like affirmative.
Yeah.
And if Arcturians doesn't mean much to you right now, there's source of information to find out more about it. But I have a
Yeah.
feeling it already does.
I do too. I was going to say, I'd love to hear feedback on that because it came in pretty hot and strong that this person either knows Arcturians, they obviously have lifetimes with them, but I feel like there is already some sort of awareness or it's been put on the field in their periphery of some sort.
That's so cool. I love it. Okay. And it was Leanne. So thank you so much, Leanne. Thanks for asking that. That's super cool. I hope that resonates. And if it doesn't, I feel like there are a lot of breadcrumbs there to start,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that could just open up a whole other aspect.
Yeah. There's some
Yeah, I
great
actually see like
Arcturian.
this. They're showing like more and more like almost like crafting now, like with like paper mache and like stamping. Like I'm seeing very like constructive physical activity stuff that they're showing me. Yeah,
That gives
Yeah.
me chills
enjoy.
too. So for whatever that's worth. Okay.
Yeah. And there's some great Arcturian channelers out there that specifically channel Arcturian councils and whatnot. So you can Google
Like
that. And
Oh,
yes,
and
yeah.
her
like Daniel.
comment gives
I
me
actually
chills
heard
too.
Daniel's
Oh, well,
like the
I heard Daniel Scranton as
Arcturians.
well. Yeah. I was like, go look up
The
Daniel Scranton because
Arcturians. If you
he,
don't know what that means, I feel have
yeah.
a feeling you already do. But yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I got chills reading her response because she said, "My hands are tingling. I'm working on art while listening."
Yay. We like that.
Case open and closed.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's so funny. Okay, so Millie, welcome, Millie. She asks, "Are the Pleiadians available to talk with whenever we want, whoever we are? I feel such a connection with them and have a real longing for them, but sometimes I worry that this longingness is something psychological I need to deal with elsewhere. I also fear I'm making this relationship up."
No,
I
you're
almost
not
can't answer
making
this as
it
Lori, but
up.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
channel.
yeah. No, immediately,
Yeah.
you are connected. Plus, like to answer your first question,
Mhm.
the Pleiadians are always available for anybody.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to be special or part of the club or had
Mhm.
lifetimes there. Like it doesn't work like that. I mean, in fact, they're showing that you can basically call in whoever you want and start a relationship. Obviously that involves some confidence, but really it's when it comes to spirit, like it's all on the table truly. But I can see they are sharing that you do that you are connected to the the Pleiades. um
My lips
And
are
this longing you
tingling.
feel is like is a remembrance. You're
Yes.
remembering
Yes.
this connection. And they're encouraging you to follow that. That it's not your imagination, it's your intuition. Um,
Oh man, I'm getting a lot of stuff, Millie. I don't know. Are you connecting with, or have you ever connected with Pleiadians on a ship? Because I'm seeing a lot of that. That's kind of where I connect in most, and they're showing me that you've had lifetimes similar to that as well. I'm getting like a really strong feeling of weightlessness, and my lips have been tingling the whole time Sarah was talking, almost as if like they're so close to you that you can touch it. That's kind of the message I get. Like you can feel it. They're so close to you, but you are tapping into another like what's your thing that you're feeling? It's a galactic lifetime. And when people tap into Pleiades and Pleiadians, sometimes, it'll be on Alcyon or the planet or whatever. I'm very much getting ship oriented stuff with you, kind of like what I get with myself. That you hang out more there, that feels more comfortable to you. But that's what you're starting to kind of slip over and click into, and that's where this resonance is coming from. It's a remembrance of a lifetime that that you are very near and dear to.
And they're saying they've been sending you signs.
Yes.
The Seven Sisters tube station, the Subarus that can pass you, like they are sending you
Yes.
all the time. They're laughing. They're sending you loads and loads of signs, and also they're saying, if you feel tingles in the
Yep.
very top of your head, the crown, and also at the back of the neck here,
All of this.
that's them. They love to connect via the upper chakra system.
Mhm.
But they said we send our regards.
I am literally, this is funny because like you just said, they like to connect through the upper chakra. I'm like, no kidding. I always say that all the time. Every people that tap into me, I'm like neck and above. They get everything neck and above on me. But I'm getting that with you too, Millie. Like that's why my whole face was like tingling and going off. It was just like, okay, like what's happening here? Like it's a lot of upper stuff, but me feeling weightless, that's a connectivity to me for the ship energy and being in space. So dial into, all of that aspects is pretty cool what I was kind of getting.
That's awesome. She says she had dreams as a child that were in space, etc. She says that all this feels really true. She's so
Mm,
grateful. Thank you so much. She says, I have MS and I get tingling there all the time. And
okay.
how very polite and English of them to send their regards. And what I loved, I believe Millie is English or British, if I'm not mistaken. And so I love that you, Sarah, brought in like Seven Sisters tube stop. It's
Yeah,
like we're
I was like,
staying in London because, and I could be mistaken, but I do think Millie might be British. She says, yes, English and originally from London. So
yay. Oh, that's fun. That when you started talking, Kara, all my everything zapped out in the left ear. So that's the receiving side. So Millie, you're absolutely like receiving messages. So tune into that. If you hear your left side go zing, for a minute, I was like, is Michelle's tinnitus here? Because it was literally like bing bow. So lean
yeah.
into your left side audibles and see if you are getting any of that.
And just to add on to all of that specific thing, the specific things that came through for Millie in particular, but I feel like it's important to understand. I think I've heard Bashar talk about this, and I don't listen to a ton of his stuff, but it's like if you're interested in starseed things, like if you're drawn to people who channel the Pleiadians or people who are talking about Arcturians or whatever it might be, there's always this kind of like entry point of like, wait, what are they even talking
Yep.
about? What do ETs have to do with anything? Aren't they even, they're not even real or whatever it is. But then it's like, it seems to be like the people who do get attracted to the topic, because across this planet right now, there are more people not interested in it than there are interested in it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like if you are one of those people who's interested in it, it's likely because there is something that's asleep within you that's wanting to wake up. And
Oh,
it happens
Kara.
in its own time and whatnot, but that's kind of, that can be like even a self-confirmation if we are just starting to wake up and it's like, but I don't even know why I would, like, I don't have any experiences. I don't remember being on a ship, or, I've had dreams, but I haven't actually had an experience or whatnot. But it's kind of like, okay, if you're interested and your ears perk up because somebody's talking about the Pleiadians or Andromeda or whatever, that could be a good sign in and of itself.
You just teed up the Miracle Summit and what I'll be sharing identical, because didn't even believe in aliens in 2021. And here I am co-channeling with Sarah in 2024, the Pleiadians, and now look like one. So you know what I mean? Like that story is part of what I'll be sharing on that. So that is hysterical. I'm laughing so hard.
I
Like,
love it. And I do want to share with you, speaking about the Miracles Summit, I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is happening on November 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern US time. Now, we have this VIP option. People can upgrade because you can join us for free. You can just come and join us live, and that is free for everybody. But if you want to join, if you want to upgrade to the VIP, not only will you get the replay, but every guest is also offering an incredible gift. So we've got 9 speakers plus me who will be facilitating it. And Lori what's so fun for me from my perspective is that I wanted everybody to offer a gift because I want it to be this opportunity for people who join, if they want to take things further, like to be able to have more touch points with each of these amazing speakers. And so I was thinking people would offer, like guided meditations or activations or something. Several of these amazing speakers are doing like private, like mini private sessions or mini private, like unique personalized gifts. And so Lori is going to be doing a personalized light language activation. So you're going to be able to tell Lori like what it is that you want her light language to focus on for you. And then she will create for you your own personal light language activation. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about how that would work or anything, Lori, quickly.
you nailed it. Like they'll reach out to me and say, if maybe they're wanting to learn how to speak light language themselves. So that's I will pull that through and set that intention and pull that channeling through. So then as I do the light language, it will be encoded specifically for that person. That's why I wanted to do the personalized individual ones. So that way it's just for you. Maybe it's that you want to have clarity of how you can open up your heart more to loving others, or, you can, whatever you want, then that's what I will set the intention and channel for. And it'll be your own specific light language recording that you can listen to back at any time and get that frequency and resonance and healing. And I'll infuse it with Reiki as well.
Yeah. So really beautiful. Like these gifts are just much more than I could have I see this like fractal kind of, we talked earlier about like the kernel, and then it's just this like explosion of possibility and it ripples out. And this is kind of what I see with this summit, where it's like, here's the kernel of opportunity and you can take it, you can like expand it and let it ripple out. And we're doing this right before the holidays, very purposefully, that it's right before the US Thanksgiving, which flows into Christmas time and the holiday time, Hanukkah, so forth. And it's just this way to kind of activate yourself and radiate your light and increase your light so that it then ripples out as we go into this holiday season. And then you're making waves, like this explosion of love and miracles and blessings that we're all here to be a part of. So I'm so excited with this opportunity. I saw that we had another Michelle who had a question. We are at the top of the hour. Are you okay to answer one more?
Yeah, I'm fine. All right, Sarah, are you? I know her schedule's a little tighter.
Are you
Yeah,
okay
it's
if we go, or do you need to wrap up, Sarah?
No, it's fine. We can go a bit longer.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot. Michelle, this is a different Michelle. She says, I was on your last call and you beautifully answered my questions on my husband's health last time, seeing a doctor today. So wondering if any further messages.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of pressure in my chest as soon as you
Yeah, me
started
too.
reading the question. It feels very much in the midline, but I felt such a heaviness. I was sorry. I had to take a minute with that because I felt such a heaviness kind of come over me.
Same actually. Like obviously we're experiencing that what your husband is dealing with is significant, and it's a process and a journey that you guys are walking through right now. I am getting that the appointment today is going to be helpful.
Yes,
and
clarity.
they're glad that you're doing that. And they're acknowledging that yeah, this is it's a process that you're walking with, but you will get through it. There's light at the end of the tunnel, they're saying.
Yeah.
But
I am getting on that session today will be good. The clarity that you're seeking, you will get answers to. It feels like you've got a number of questions. I see like a list of these kind of like you're like, I want to know this, 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 and I'm getting that you're going to get some of that clarity today.
And they say that they support you and they embrace you through this difficult time.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about that, Sarah, because I was getting that as well. Whoever this person is like, you're needing a lot of support. I'm getting that, don't neglect yourself, but I was seeing just a rush of like angels. I'm getting like really emotional. A rush of angels like coming to your side. So there's a lot of supportive energy around you. I just kind of see you falling back into their arms and being taken care of. So allow that as you go through this journey, not just today, but in the weeks ahead, because it feels like there's a little bit of a journey ahead of you on this.
Yes. Thank you.
Sending a lot of love. That was intense.
Thank you. And thank you for being here, Michelle. Okay, well, thank you so much, ladies, for your time today and sharing your gifts. This has been really exciting. Please remind everybody how they can connect with you and the discount code and so forth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have the podcast Into the Blue with Laurie and Sarah available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and everywhere.
All that
So
stuff.
that comes out weekly. But yes, we're intothebluechanneling.com where you can find all of our information, including the booking pages if you want to connect with us.
And Instagram and all that good stuff. We're more active on Instagram than Facebook. I think we have a Facebook, but we're not really like doing a lot on that. But Instagram, we are over there. And we had a video, we do a video every Friday of us channeling. So if you do have questions and like you don't necessarily want to book a full personal session, but you want to submit your own question, you can do that through the website as well, free of charge. But yeah, we have video that came out just this morning of a Q&A if you want to hear more about I don't remember what we
Was this
channeled.
one Yeshua, the second
Yes,
part of
it was
Yeshua?
Part 2 of the Yeshua,
yes, with the
Beetlejuice star, yeah.
Star, yeah.
That was quite
My
interesting.
favorite question and answer, I'll say, recently was the mini moon. Go check out the mini moon episode
Buddy
if
Moon.
you haven't seen it. The Buddy Moon.
Buddy Moon,
I
Sarah.
loved that channeling. It is amazing. Please go take a look.
Is that in the title?
Yes,
I think-
it's mini moon. Yeah, Q&A mini moon.
But
Okay.
just a spoiler alert, it doesn't want to be called a mini moon.
No,
It wants to be called
he
Buddy
doesn't
Moon.
like being
No.
called
Is
Doesn't
it
like it.
Bunny or Buddy?
Buddy. We call
Buddy.
it Buddy Moon.
Like Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
Or like Sarah's my buddy.
Yeah.
That was what they were showing. It's like it wants to be a buddy. It doesn't want to be a mini.
Oh, that's so
Because
fun.
it's got a powerful job. It's not this
Yeah.
tiny thing.
No,
Awesome.
it doesn't want to have second best syndrome.
Well, this has just been amazing. And thank you everybody who joined as well. It's such a powerful group. I've just loved this. Thank you, Sarah and Lori. Thanks for being here. And thank you for everything that you're doing.
Likewise.
Everybody to help raise the consciousness. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's
much.
such a great opportunity. And as we've said before, we're so grateful for everything that you're doing and putting out there into the world. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Okay, have a great weekend, everybody. See you later.